Okay, let's talk about what we are doing this week. Usually, I don't dive into Canvas to show you, but I think that it's worth it because there's quite a few things to look at this week. Okay, we're going to scroll down. The first thing I want to talk about is this word review features assignment. And that was something that was due last week, but let's just take a quick dive into it. You should have all received your score for it. If you haven't, let me know because that means I didn't press save when I did your score. So a couple of things you may have noticed about this class. One, the rubrics are very, very specific, and that is because there has been a movement to make all BYU Idaho classes as consistent as possible. And so one of the best ways that we can do that is by having a very specific rubric. So if you have any questions about how we're going to grade this, first of all, the grading should be fairly consistent across all Health Science 391 courses. But if you have questions about how I'm going to grade it, scroll on down to this rubric because, or really any assignment rubric, because that's what I'm going to do. I will open your assignment and then I will open the rubric next to it in another screen. And so I will compare the two. So make sure that you look at the rubric as you are doing these assignments. There are several places people miss points. First, places with that in-text citation. For many people, their in-text citation was not included. Remember that everything must be cited or else it is considered plagiarism. So that in-text citation is going to be in parentheses right next to that information. It's going to include the author's last name and the year the article, document, whatever was published, all in parentheses right next to it. That will change based on what kind of signifying language you have, but for the most part, that's pretty consistent. If you did not include a citation in your practice assignment, author's last name, year published, then you did not receive any points. Second thing is that reference entry. Since we are using Write and Cite and RefWorks, that will generally generate that reference for you in correct APA format. I noticed there were a number of people that used MLA or Chicago or some other reference style. I know depending on your background, you may be more familiar with those other styles. However, for this class and all public health, we use APA format. That is fairly easy. You just need to go into RefWorks or Write and Cite and check the box saying it's APA format. Sometimes it defaults to MLA, and that is the issue that you are facing. One thing to keep in mind, when you are doing correct APA format, you're going to have all of the authors' names listed first, last name, first initial. Then right after that, you're going to have the year the item was published in parentheses immediately following that. If the style you are using does not have the author's last name and the year the item was published immediately in parentheses, that's a really good indication that you are not using the correct formatting style. MLA does not do that, so just make sure you go and check that box, make sure it's going correctly. If you are one of those people that likes to do the citations by hand, make sure that you log into that Purdue OWL and make sure that you are doing the citations exactly how Purdue OWL says. They are a really great resource for APA formatting style. And then the final thing people lost points on is those 3 word review features. So you needed to use comments, you needed to use track changes, and accept and reject track changes. It's fairly easy. You go into Microsoft Word, there's a ribbon at the top that says review. Make sure you flick the switch so that your track changes are on, and it will show every change that is made within the document. It will also show you the handy dandy thing. Ooh, that did not go well. It will also show you this handy thing right here. Hopefully you can see this, where it says those deleted, and then you can go through and accept and reject changes. So that is awesome. And now you get to see me look at all of my programs. Okay, so that is everything with that word review features from last week. If you are more familiar with the Google Suite, like Google Docs, the features work almost identically in Microsoft Word as they do in Google Docs. You just need to make sure that you transfer those skills this semester. Everything must be submitted in Microsoft Word. That is a decision that has been made universally, I believe, throughout the department, at least throughout Health Science 391. So you need to use Word. And I understand that assignment was very nitpicky. I apologize for that. Please pay attention to the rubrics, and I have submitted my feedback and feelings on the specific nature of that assignment. Yeah. Okay, let's hightail it back to the module. Okay, this week we are talking about APA formatting. APA formatting is very, very, very important in this class. So please, please review this. Prepare APA format and style prior to this quiz. Take notes. You can use the notes during the quiz. Remember, I believe you have 3 chances to take that quiz. Take your 3 chances. You will not receive the correct answers until after the deadline has passed. We're working to get an answer key that can be sent out to you. There is a possibility that the quiz was keyed incorrectly, and there is some discussion between the instructors about whether or not that was done incorrectly. But please make sure and really review that APA formatting and style information. Most of it's on the Purdue OWL. Bookmark that so you can go back and review that as needed throughout the course of the semester, because APA formatting is part of every rubric and you will be dinged if you don't follow it correctly. This is not your moment to choose. That is a boring part of the assignment. I do not want to do that. You want to do this. You really, really want to do the APA formatting correctly because it's basically free points for you. Like we talked about, the rubrics are very specific in this class. Please make sure as you are going into things, like we'll just click on this outline of literature review, make sure that you don't stop here. Make sure you scroll all the way on down and look at this rubric, because I will have this rubric open as I grade your assignment, and I will go through and check these boxes. So if you have any questions, always look to the rubric first. Please feel free to reach out to me, but if you're looking for what will I be graded on, this is what you will be graded on. This rubric is what you will be graded on. And we're trying to take out as much subjectivity as we can from the course. So you are going to go through, let's just talk about this outline of your literature review. You're going to go through and do that this week. This is a really exciting thing. This is basically going to tell you where your lit review is going to go from here and kind of where your project is going to go as well. Our assumption is that every group member will have a different outline, but you will basically be headed the same direction, maybe with a few different sources, maybe down a few extra rabbit holes to answer those same research questions. But remember, all group members are using the same research questions that were approved in the previous assignment. We're going to go through and talk about that previous assignment in just a second, but you are all using that same exact research question. That way, when you go through and write the survey, your survey will be used to answer that research question. We can't have the same topic and different research questions because then the survey won't match up. So go through and complete this writing and outline assignment. Make sure that when you are in this assignment, this prepare writing and outline assignment, you scroll all the way down, because it's really easy to stop right here, but that's not what we're doing. We're going down and creating an outline that looks something like this. So please, please, please make sure that you take that extra step to go beyond the concept map. Remember, handwritten assignments are not going to be accepted. You will need to type it out, and your outline will need to look a lot like this, and whatever you submit will need to meet the requirements of the rubric for full points. Then, after you go through this assignment, I will grade it as fast as I can, but there will be a slight delay. After you do that, you are going to start working on this synthesis grid. Maybe not, because it doesn't want to load, but you will start working on the synthesis grid. Make sure you download that template and read this. You only need 6 articles for this assignment, but you need 10 research articles to complete the final lit review. So don't stop at the 6. If you have time, please make sure you push ahead to the 10. Also keep in mind that maybe you find 6 sources and 4 of them are good and 2 of them are bad. You're going to need to make sure that you have 10 actual sources for the final paper. even if you have to throw out a couple. I say you keep about 60 to 75% of the sources that you read. Some of them are just not going to be as useful as others. Please keep in mind that the most important thing you can do when reading this research article is first you're going to read the abstract, then you're going to jump ahead to the discussion conclusion section. If those sections are good, then go back and read the rest of the article. You want to be efficient about this. I don't want you to wade through 30 articles and find that you find 10, but you've read hundreds of pages. No, be efficient. Read that abstract, read the discussion section. If those are applicable to your particular topic, to your research questions, then go back through and read the rest. Here's the synthesis grid requirements. There are a lot of requirements for this rubric. Please make sure you do it. Keep in mind that it does repeat, but I will look at this as I grade it. You need to look at it as you are grading, as you are going through. Okay, last thing I want to talk about, that APA style quiz. We did already talk about this, but please don't let this stress you out. Review the information, take notes. We will hopefully make modifications to that quiz. We will hopefully work out all the kinks with that quiz. I do believe that there could potentially be a problem with questions 17, 25, and 29. We're verifying that and make sure those questions that you are asked to write out, make sure you follow all of the directions as closely as possible. Please keep working on your personal application assignments. You will start to see those spot graded. You will occasionally see a grade for those. Remember, I won't be grading those every week, but that you will receive your posts will be randomly selected for grading throughout the semester. So keep on doing that. Keep on submitting your evaluations of the course. We really appreciate that, and we're trying to move towards fixing that. Thank you for your patience as the course design team works on fixing that, and we take your feedback, and hopefully they're able to incorporate it. If you have any questions about the assignments that have already happened, please go ahead and reach out to me. If you have any questions about your research question assignment, please let me know. You should have all received feedback on that. I believe the feedback has been pushed through to everyone. It's showing up on my end, so hopefully it's showing up on your end. If you were asked to rewrite your research question, I highly, highly, highly recommend that you rewrite your research question, because I'm not going to change my mind about that. Every time I look at a subsequent assignment, like that outline, like that synthesis grid, like the methods section, like the survey, I'm going to hop on back to where I made feedback, or where I provided feedback on how to rewrite that research question. And if the research question has not been rewritten, you will still need to do that. You will need to go back, rewrite the research question, then make any corrections to those follow-up assignments. So I highly recommend you make the changes to the research question now and move forward with that revised research question. If you were asked to revise your research question, or if I gave you an example, like, if you were to change the research question, an example research question might be blah, blah, blah. Please make sure you make those corrections and email me your updated research question. I want to know where you're headed. I want to be able to help you if that research question isn't where it needs to be already. Let me know if you have any questions this week. I hope everything is going well. Review the rubrics as you submit things, and enjoy General Conference this weekend.